the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my entire life. Jumping motorcycles into the Grand Canyon and then base jumping off of them.
It's grade 2 meniscus, tore 50% of my PCL. My PCL is almost like fully grown back.
I love my job. I'm a stunt woman and I love my life. I'm very active and I do a lot of things. Right now we're looking at ankle fusion or an ankle replacement.
Yeah, pain can be super depressing.
Fusion to me is just not an option. In the past couple weeks, I've felt a lot lighter.
I hear it a lot all the time from patients. You don't know where you were until you get past it.
Boyfriend noticed that the other day. He was like, I was just sitting back and observing you. You were moving differently. I had been able to learn to manage pain and live within a bracket of pain for so long.
My back's 100%. Like, I can do anything. I started deadlifting again. I don't know if you ever seen the video of the guy we grew his thumb back.
Most conversations I have with anybody since coming here in January have been about stem cells. I used to just break myself. Now I'm spending so much time and energy like putting myself all back together.
CPI podcast. I'm here with Jolene Van Vugt, Nitro Circus fame.
Yes.
You know, I mean, who wasn't a fan or isn't a fan of Nitro Circus, you know?
Yeah, we were doing some pretty crazy fun things at a time when it wasn't really normal.
No. Yeah. I mean, I came up in the skateboard, 80s, 90s, into snowboarding from there. And, you know, like, what a change, you know what I mean? Like, the things that people are doing now. I mean, we just got a triple, right?
Yeah.
Triple on a motorcycle.
Yeah, they're triple on a motorcycle. Isn't that insane?
So I remember going to the movie theater to see Rad.
Yeah.
To see the first backflip on a bicycle and thinking, like, how did that guy even do that?
I just watched the documentary for that recently.
Oh, there's a documentary for it? Who was the BMX? Was it Hoffman? Who was it?
I don't remember who the BMX
I don't know who the guy was either. That if you would have asked me back before I had a few concussions, I probably would have remembered. Well, first, how'd you find out about us? How'd you get down here to Tijuana?
Well, in the first place, it stems mainly back to Mike Escamilla, Rooftop. So talking about BMX. A friend of mine I've known for a really long time due to action sports and Nitro Circus. And he came down here to get treated by you guys. And so my sort of, I guess, pivotal moment was meeting you at the Pirate House.
Oh, that's right, the Pirate House.
Mike brought you there to hang out with us when I was there with Andy Bell and Travis Pastrana, and we all got to meet you and hang out and sit and have a conversation and get to know a little bit more about what CPI was and what it was all about. And so that, I think, for me was the changing point in the opportunity and understanding more about it. And then the point that sort of, I think, forced my hand, because I told you I wanted to come get stem cells, but life was just busy. I had a lot of things going on. I didn't know when I was going to be able.
It was like pulling teeth. I think I was texting you every 2 weeks. Are you still coming?
I know.
Are you coming? Did I offend you? Did you not like me? What happened?
Exactly. Because I had all these aches and pains and points in my body that were just weighing me down, but not quite stopping me from doing what I was doing. I had been able to learn to manage pain and live within a bracket of pain for so long. I functioned in a place of high pain management. So if I could still do my job and do what I loved, even though it hurt, I didn't want to stop to have to get a surgery or get something done that would take time for me to have to say no to work or not be able to play with my friends. And unfortunately, I think it was at the end of October, November there, I don't even really know what exactly happened, but my ankle just decided it was time to stop. It had had enough. It hit a wall and it stopped working. And I suddenly was unable to walk. I have broken it 3 times. I've had multiple surgeries on it over the past 25 years. And I was just sort of, limping around on a wing and a prayer for the most part. And I went to see my surgeon thinking, I'll just get one of those cleanup surgeries I've had before and she'll get me back on my way. It won't be fully fixed, but I'll manage like I always have. And the reality check that hit me in that office when she was like, listen, there's no cleanup for this. You have managed to push it as far as it can go. And right now we're looking at ankle fusion or an ankle replacement.
Wow.
And fusion to me is just not an option because first of all, you just stop using a body part, joint, and then so much is connected to that. We all understand the skeletal system and how that works. You freeze up something, you're gonna start messing up a ton of other things. So that just wasn't an option. And then ankle replacement, to me, again, not an option because it's still, it hasn't been around long enough. They haven't been doing them. They're not that good.
I don't think I've never met any. I mean, knee, shoulder, anything like that.
I've never met anyone that
ankle.
has an ankle replacement.
Yeah.
And I even looked at her when she said it to me and I was like, you do those? Because I had never heard of one. And she said, yeah, we do them. We don't usually do them on people your age. You're way too young for this. And yes, it's not something that has been around as long as the knees and the hips. And so I wasn't willing to take that risk, not to mention it's another year because I said to her, I said, well, what's the healing time on something like that? And what's the guarantee? And of course, never a guarantee. And the healing time could be up to a year.
Wow.
When there's not even a possibility of it being successful. Again, just not an option. Like I love my job. I'm a stunt woman and I love my life. I'm very active and I do a lot of things. So that moment for me was just like somebody whacked me in the face and I felt like I'd been hit in the stomach. I didn't really know what to do. And I went out to my car and I literally just sat there like, what am I going to do? Like something has just come into my world to take what I do for a living and take what I love because I don't know what I will be, how I'll be functioning after this. You know, there's no guarantee it's going to put me back into a good place or things will work and I'll be able to do everything. And so I sat there and I just started crying and I didn't know what to do anymore because I didn't want an ankle fusion and I didn't want an ankle replacement. I just wanted to be better again.
Get your life back.
Get my life back.
Yeah.
And that's when I messaged you and I told you exactly what had just happened and that I didn't know what to do and I needed your help. And that's when you said, you're going to come here and we're going to get your life back.
Yeah. Well, we're working on it, right?
We're working on it.
You got a crazy ankle coming
It's
along
a work in progress.
Yeah. How far along you feel like you are now?
I feel pretty good, actually. I mean, had you asked me that about a month ago, I probably would have said, oh, maybe 50%. But I've definitely notched up a few percentages in the past couple weeks.
Oh, that's good.
So I feel like there's still a little bit to go with coming to a point that I feel it's a success for the place I want to be. But where I am today, I'm a million times better than what I was when I walked into CPI in January. So
somewhat getting your life back.
Somewhat getting my life back. I mean, I have a minimal limp now, and the pain kind of comes and goes, and it's not as intense as it once was. And there's actually some days in the past recent weeks, that I haven't had pain all day long, which is a change as well. So.
Well, it's funny, ankles are bad. So like I said, I came from that skateboard, snowboarding thing. And let me tell you my stupid, I wish I was a Nitro Circus person story. So, I broke, which one was it? I broke this one skateboarding first. I came from the launch ramp era, 4-foot ramp, flat asphalt, try to smash yourself. And then my parents bought my brother and I a trampoline. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go get on this trampoline. So this one was already kind of, weak and bad from when I broke it. We get a trampoline. I'm jumping on a trampoline. I'm learning backflips and stuff. I'm like a freshman in high school. And I rolled my other ankle really bad on the trampoline. So I go to the emergency room. Boom. They put me in an air boot, that whole type of thing. Well, they told me to stay off the trampoline. But I did not do that, right? So now I'm out there jumping on my one bad ankle, working on backflips, and I roll this one.
Oh, gosh.
And my mom has to take me back to the emergency room, and I go in the emergency room, and it's the exact same emergency room doctor.
He's like, what did I tell you?
Proceeds to scream at me like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, snowboarding season's coming. I'm working on backflips. He's like, you're not going to be snowboarding at all this season. I'm like, oh, yes, I am. So I had a trip to Utah planned, soft snow.
You're like,
I was on the East Coast. Like, no.
Interfere with my plan.
This is my year to learn backflips, you know. So, but you know, so this one I had to get a plate and a pin and everything in there, and you know, it still bothers me sometimes. Like the ankle gets so much use. It mostly helps me hurts. Well, also I ended up having a snowboarding injury that put the plate in it, and I tore my Achilles. Luckily, not a complete tear. Right?
Yeah.
But that still flares up in it. And I'm going to admit right now, I am too scared to put stem cells directly in my Achilles. Because I see the pain that some patients are in. I mean, you know, it's a thick tendon, right? You're going to stick the stem cells down in it, you know? Like, I see them when they come out of that treatment room the next day. I'm like, mine doesn't hurt that bad. I'll put some red light on it, rub a little Vagisil on it, and I'll be fine, you know? Like, I don't need that. So
well, that is sort of the other thing that I learned, and people learn when I sit and tell them about my experience, because most conversations I have with anybody since coming here in January have been about stem cells. Everybody wants to know. Everyone wants to know the information. They want to know how I'm feeling. Am I healed? Am I, you know, miraculously 100% better again? They want it all. And so, yeah, it's the pain is the first thing I'm like, listen, you have to understand, like, you don't just walk in the door, get a couple needles, leave, it doesn't hurt, and you're all better. I was like, there is a process to this, just like anything else that's treating the system, right? The body. You have to think of it as surgery on a cellular level, where you are having to take the same time off, and you're going to probably be in the same amount of pain as if a surgeon took a scalpel to you or put some bones together. That is the best way to describe it. And you can just see people go, oh, I didn't know it would be that bad. And I'm like, no, I was in a shit ton of pain, and I've been in a lot of pain in my life, but that was bad. But it goes away. It subsides. It doesn't last forever. And so, yeah, that's something I think people aren't aware of. And
you know, for you, I think because your ankle is so messed up and everything else, you tend to be you were on the higher end.
I was on the high
and on the slower
end
of healing.
Yeah.
For somebody who's had 2 ankle surgeries, back surgery, broke my neck, like a bunch of other things, you know, the treatments were nothing like the pain of surgery. Like back surgery compared to disc injections.
Yeah.
I got up and went to work the very next day. Not that I recommend that for patients, but I got done in my hospital, and I'm in my hospital, and, you know, stuff happens in a cancer hospital, right? So I got up, and I was used to being in pain. So, but, you know, it's, to me, you know, usually it's not nearly as bad. But yeah, you're a different kind of person, you know.
It's true. But I think it also depends on the body part too, because I had my neck and my back done, and I agree. Like, my back hurt when I was waking up out of the anesthetic, but by the time the next day when I woke up, the back pain of the stem cells was gone. The neck, I never had any pain. And I haven't had pain in either one of those spots since. I had a couple flare-ups.
That's great.
In the past couple months, just because I, you know, maybe wanted to do something I probably shouldn't have done at that time frame yet. And I woke up the next morning and I felt it, but only for about a day and a half. And then the flare-up was gone. So maybe that's more typically aligned.
It could be an ankle thing. Maybe I told you I'm just too big of a wimp to do my...
What about shoulders?
I've done my shoulder, but I never had shoulder surgery. Okay. You know, I tore my rotator. But it's like, you know, 95, 98% back. You know, I can do 20 pull-ups again.
Did you have pain in it afterwards, though?
Yeah, but like I said, I've never had shoulder surgery, so I can't compare it to shoulder surgery. I know lots of people that had shoulder surgery and never made it back to, you know, 90%.
Yep.
You know,
For sure.
And the other thing is that I've learned, you know, I'm 55 now. I was talking to the new patients that were here, you know,
Yeah.
and they're, you know, everyone's like, oh, yeah, I want to know about the process. And I said, you know, my back's 100%. Like I can do anything. I started deadlifting again.
Amazing.
I could do anything. I'm
Yeah.
kiteboarding. I'm riding my Suron like an idiot, you know, like one wheeling,
Yeah.
jujitsu, all the dumb shit, you know, I shouldn't be doing at 55. Right. And, but I told the, you know, I tell the guys all the time, I said, listen, I got up this morning, I did my back physical therapy before
Right.
I hit the gym.
Right.
You know, I know I have to keep my back healthy.
Yep, healthy,
on my
strong.
chest, shoulder, and back days, I do still do my shoulder rehab, you know, every single day. My knees, they're good. Like I don't really do rehab anymore.
Yeah.
You know, on my knees, I grade 2 meniscus, tore 50% of my PCL.
Oh, wow.
My PCL is almost like fully grown back. Like there's no looseness whatsoever in my knee, no pain, no nothing. But again, I never had knee surgery either. But I have had 2 ankle surgeries, and they sucked.
Yeah.
They sucked really bad.
Yeah.
It still just pops and pops and pops
Pops
and
and
pops
cracks.
and doesn't quite,
Yeah.
you know, and if I step wrong, it'll roll over on me, you know, so. And now that I see how painful yours is, I'm definitely not doing my Achilles.
I say suck it up and do it.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, you know, I did see, I think, running around one of those, a razor or something like that. What do you?
Yeah.
Is that part of why your back got flared up?
My side by side.
Yeah.
I'm sponsored by Polaris.
That's a Polaris.
So
that's not a razor. I'm in trouble now. Right?
No, it is a razor.
It is a razor.
Polaris
Yes.
is razor.
Polaris, if you want to send me one, ship it to her house. I'll fly up there and pick it up.
Yeah, I have a really good relationship with a cool company that has some pretty rad products. So I get I'm actually picking up a new side by side, a new razor. When I get home from here.
Yeah.
Oh, would you I might be able to do something.
I'd
see
love
what
that.
Polaris if they have any extra ones, but
Let me know. I live right by the desert in Vegas, man. I'd love that. I'll load it up with guns and go out in the. You know, the crazy thing would be to see if we could get it down in the tunnels.
what
So,
tunnels of
Underneath Las Vegas, by my house, I found this entrance that go in all the drainage tunnels under the city. Oh. Rooftop's been saying he's going to come out and ride with me, but he hasn't made it out there. You guys should
How
all
big
come
are
out.
the tunnels?
Some of them are huge. It's like kind of like a skate park, like all
that's
banked and
cool.
everything. There is one guy, he was like that I ride with down there. He's the one that showed me where they are. And I don't know if he was a pro BMXer, but he was really good at BMX. So he's like table topping these things and like, I'm scared to jump these days, you know. I'm like, yeah, you know. And but like for instance, from the South Point casino, I don't know if you know Vegas, South Point to the M's the big black one when you're driving in from Vegas, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean from LA to Vegas, and then South Point's like the big gold one. There's this tunnel. It's 3.2 miles long.
Oh, cool.
It's very tall, but it's narrow.
Yeah.
And it's pitch black. But graffiti guys have come in and graffitied the whole thing.
Oh,
so you know what a Suron is, of course, right? Yeah. So you're on the Suron, and it's like playing the video game Tron. Because all this colored graffiti is going, because you can just open it all the way out to like 50.
That's
it's
so
dead quiet,
cool.
and you're just through this cool air going through the tunnels.
That would be really cool to shoot in a razor.
There's like, there's smaller ones that are around, and like sometimes you find like a homeless people living in there and stuff, but they're always nice. I always bring extra waters. I'm like, hey guys, we're just coming through. Here's some water. And but they just go and go go under the city, and it's I think some of them I know.
I didn't even know that
I could
existed.
get the razor down in there. Yeah.
Speaking of Tron,
that
movie's coming out in October.
Are you in it?
I worked on it.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I got to double on the light cycle.
Oh. So. What do you actually ride to?
I rode
it all
for.
CG
I worked
now, or what do they do?
Well, they CG a lot of it. But I worked on it in Vancouver for 3 months, and we had the Harley Livewire bikes, and they, chopped the front and the back off and extended them. So we laid in that Tron position on the bike. And then they put all these lights and different things for the effects. And then we were able to wear head to toe Alpine stars, which was really cool. I got to take
stuff.
2 things that I love. One of my, supporters that I've been with for 20 plus years, and stunts, and jam them together and make that connection. So that was pretty cool. And And then we had lights all over us, and then they'll take the actions of what we do, and then they CG that into the actual sort of light.
So they just have you out here like riding some stuff, and then they CG that
So we
in.
rode around the streets of Vancouver for many nights. It was really cool.
Oh yeah. What was it like with the weird geometry on the bike?
It was similar to I doubled Anne Hathaway for the Catwoman on the Batpod in Dark Knight Rises as well. And the body position was very similar to that, where you're sort of laying down on your belly and your arms are sort of in a front position, forward, down, behind you.
Hard to turn,
and
though?
then your
It's
legs.
like raked out so far?
Yeah, the wide
turns,
turns that were, unstable and a little wobbly. So you just had to make sure to keep your momentum up. Yeah.
Carry some speed through.
Carry speed.
Nice. Well, I'll have to go
Super
check
cool,
out
super
Tron.
fun. So yeah, that comes out in
you get to do
October.
so much fun stuff.
I do.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the funnest thing you ever did with Nitro?
Funnest or scariest?
Let's do both. Start with the funnest. Don't say hanging out with me at the Pirate House. That was pretty fun, but you've probably done funner stuff than that. Although watching, I think it was Travis's kid, right? Jump from the very top.
Bristol.
How old is Bristol?
Well, I think she was 9 when she jumped from there.
Who's the little kid that jumped the day I was there? Was it not his kid?
I think that was her.
Oh, okay, it was her. Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm like, I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not climbing up there. I climbed up to the first
ones-
one. That thing's swinging around and everything is like this big.
They're usually the ones that are
makes sense
jumping
in
off
the
things.
genetics, right? We were talking about genetic
Makes
testing
sense.
before. Yeah,
Absolutely makes sense. It's totally in the genetics.
Be interesting to do his genetics, see what kind of weird stuff we find.
That's very true. I for me, the funnest and the scariest kind of lump into one, only because it became fun once it was over.
Right.
And it was terrifying, the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my entire life, which was jumping motorcycles into the Grand Canyon and then base jumping off of them.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So we did the big old Tom Cruise stunt about 17 years before Tom Cruise did the stunt for Mission Impossible. Yeah. The one that's been getting all the attention recently of him riding the motorcycle off of a cliff.
Yeah.
We did doubled up. So Travis was driving, I was on the back, and that was on a street bike, and we jumped in. And then when we survived that one, we, of course, ran back up to do it again on dirt bikes. And we each did it individually on that one, 3 people. And it was just one go, next go, next go. So there's 3 of us jumping into the canyon at the same time. And I backflipped my bike.
Wow.
And I think Travis did a double backflip.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
So
I just can't even imagine like lining up at the ramp. Of course, you got to pin it, right?
Absolutely terrified. It was, but it.
How do you get over that fear? Because like even now, so I got the Sur-on, and like when I was a kid, I jump everything and all that stuff. But I'll tell you what happened to me about a year ago now. So I don't know if you ever seen the video of the guy we grew his thumb back.
No.
So this guy, he was a motorcycle racer guy. He got his thumb caught in the chain and severed his thumb. Mm-hmm. Happened to be like the Saturday or something before he was coming to get stem cells. What? So he calls from the emergency room and he's like, hey, they want to amputate my thumb. Can you guys do anything? And we're like, I have no clue. But, if you want to tell him sew it on as best as possible, what do you got to lose? We'll try.
Right.
Well, I'll show you the pictures later. But he pretty much regrew his whole thumb. So they came down, they took it off, cleaned it up, everything, and shot it full of a ton of stems. Even part of his nail grew back, right? Anyway, so side story.
That is crazy.
That guy, he was into Sur-ons, and so he was really cool. He gave me like a Marzocchi front end and upgraded the motor and like all of this stuff. And those things are fast enough as it is, but then when he set it up for me over the phone, doing FaceTime and everything, he put it in ludicrous mode. He don't tell me it's in ludicrous mode, right? I'm just thinking like, so I'm going out to hit this little tabletop. I live by this big dirt lot in Vegas, where we go ride the Sur-ons and the one wheels. And, I jump in a couple of times and then I come up at once. You ever rode one? You know how twitchy they are? It's electric, right? Mm-hmm. And I come off and I must have just twitched, no clutch, right? And it just loops backwards. It's like this, slow-mo. I'm like, Argh! And I just landed just flat on my back, knocked the wind out of me. Luckily, I had a helmet on and stuff. And it took me a minute to get up, and I was like, you dumb old man. I was like, oh, I'm checking, like, is my back going to be okay?
Am
You know,
I
my neck
okay?
is killing me. I pick my bike up. I'm going home, guys. Mr. Miyagi, I'm scared and I want to go home. And now I'm just like, after that, I felt like it was such a, my back didn't end up hurting. I had a bunch of bruises and scratches all over me, but back still fine. I couldn't even register on, before stem cells. I bump and
Too much
this leg
pain.
would have been, just twitching and a back spasming and I'd fall over. But I tried to ride a mountain bike a couple of times. That did not work. Now I'm just so scared. Like every time I come up to the jump, I'm like, somebody will be like, follow me, and I'll be holding it. And then as I get up to it, I'll slow down. It's like the brain to hear is like, you are a chicken, like. So I don't even know how you guys did that. Like, just
I don't. I mean, because people would always say like, "Oh, you're so fearless. Like, you're not afraid of anything." And I'm like, "No, you can be completely shit scared of something, but still make yourself do it."
Yeah.
There's just that compartmentalizing feature in your brain where you can turn it off.
Compartment again.
And we have it a lot when we're younger. It's way bigger.
Yeah.
It gets smaller as you get older. I don't think Travis's ever changes, so don't worry about that one, all you Travis fans. But I know mine has definitely changed. It's gotten a little smaller for sure. Because the things I look back and I'm like, wow, I did that. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that I was a little bit more insane in my younger years. But I had that one thing that I think tends to be almost like built into men, not so built into women. Of being able to huck themselves and push through pain and push through fear and just compartmentalize like that. You don't see it as much in women as you do in men. I had that from birth, I believe. So I just was able to be afraid, but use that to understand and take it seriously, right? To me, fear is a gauge of respect for something.
Right.
If you don't have fear for something, well, I mean, that's a whole different program. But you have to, everyone has fear. It's healthy. But being able to manage it and overcome it, it's much different. Right. And I just was always able to, if I wanted to do something, I don't care how afraid or scared I was able to just go, be scared, be scared, be scared. Okay, it's time to drop in, turn it off, go.
All right, maybe I'll try that one. Be scared, be scared. Yeah, I get it. I flew up to you. I flew up by you to Tahoe with my instructor. Oh man, 3-4 months ago to get some crosswind landing. Practice in, and the first time it was 24 knots crosswind at Tahoe style. Right, that airport's crazy. And like the plane is literally pointed. I'm looking out the side window down at the runway. Like, he's like, you got to get lower if we're gonna land. I'm like, I don't want to get lower. So I took it out first time around, but we got it down. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm okay not getting hurt so much.
Hey,
it's nice to be pretty pain free.
Like I said,
after years
the
of pain.
window of doing that has changed drastically from teens to 20s to 30s. Now I'm in my 40s. And yes, like, it's like you had less pain and more stupidity. And as you got more pain, you got less stupid. And then you get to a certain age where you're not as stupid, but you're in all the pain. So now you're like, okay, how do I make the pain go away? And then I'll just want to stay there.
It is. I mean, I thought I'd never be out of back pain. So, we're going to fix the rest of that ankle this week and get you out of ankle
I'm very, very excited for that. Excited is my word that has described so much of my CPI experience. Yeah. I was like, I need to Google another word for excited. But it is like, I just, the defeat and the sadness and the place that I was in November and December and even January when I walked through the doors. I was, doing a little video today to update people. And what I said was in the past couple weeks, I've felt a lot lighter. It's like some of that heaviness from fear and uncertainty and worry has started to actually just go away because I'm seeing progress. I'm feeling less pain. Like, as I sit here right now speaking to you, I'm not walking. I'm not in any pain right now. like nothing hurts.
And normally you would have just been...
And normally something would be hurting. It's either my back was flaring up, maybe my neck's out, you know, maybe my shoulder's having a thing. And then my ankle is always sort of radiating something from like a 1 to a 1,000, depending on what I had done to it, with it, or for it. That is crazy to me. And when you don't know that, when you are just coming into something that you don't even have that much information about because it's new, and you're just kind of getting the information from people, like I got from Rooftop, then I spoke to Andy, then I spoke to you, and then I was like, okay, and looking stuff up, but it's not your experience.
Right.
So you still have doubt, you still have fear, you still have uncertainty. And until you go through the process and you can peel away those layers of doubt, fear, uncertainty, sadness, all the things that you will go through when you're in pain and you're trying to figure shit out and get back to life, it's like it weighs heavy on you. And, you know, I've been peeling, those things have all started to peel away.
That's
and
awesome.
so I noticed that like the past couple of weeks, like I'm back to working out like hard and doing things and trying to get myself fully rehabilitated, and I feel good again. I feel lighter. I feel happy again too. So thank you.
Pain can be super depressing.
Thank you.
Hey, my play. Hey, thank my amazing staff over there. I mean, we have a great team.
Yes, you have a really great team. Everybody's so kind
blessed.
and good at what they do, and they're there to help you and make it as comfortable as possible, and that's great.
I'm just here to do the podcast.
Okay.
I know what you're saying though. You know, I hear it all the time from patients. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you don't know where you were until you get past it.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you know, I've had patients like, yeah, you know, my wife noticed more than me. I'm like, what do you mean? And like, yeah, like 2 months in, my wife's like, oh, you're smiling. Yeah. You're not snapping at me. Yep. You know, and things like that. Or people's kids will say like, oh, you know, Mom, Dad, you're not walking funny. And they're like, oh yeah, you know.
I'm not.
Yeah, and stuff. Yep. And so.
No, my boyfriend noticed that the other day. He was like, I was just sitting back and observing you. And he's like, you were moving differently. Things looked different. And I know mentally he's a lot happier of the place I'm in too, because there was definitely a couple since the stem cells in the recovery process, little, you know, maybe not little, meltdowns that I just couldn't, like I had all the emotions, I had all the fear, I had all the doubt, and I just was so much like, what if this doesn't work? And I would break down and I would just sit there bawling, and he's like, oh God, you know, it's going to be okay, I promise. But he was definitely like a solid rock to remind me, like, you're in the healing process, you need to be patient, you have to give it time.
That's great.
It's going to be okay. And I was like, and you need that. It makes a difference. It does make a difference, because you can get a little too in your head. I mean, we all do. We're humans. It's what we do. And so, yeah, it's been a journey.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, I don't remember if it was Rooftop or Andy, but you were having a breakdown at one point, and they like hit me up. They're like, hey, she's going through it, you know?
Probably both.
Let me reach out to her. Let me reach out to her and check on her and see how she's doing. I definitely
hit up Andy and Rooftop, you know, at different times where I'm like, okay, did this happen to you? Because like, how did you feel? Like, you know, you want to have somebody to compare it to validate what you're feeling, and to know that like, this is normal, or this is the process, or it's going to be like this for a minute. You're going to have to suck it up, but it'll go away. And then it gets better, you know? So it's like, we just always want that somebody that's going to lift us up or pat us on the back, or, you know, even say like, suck it up, buttercup, you know, like, you got this.
Don't be a wimp.
Don't be a wimp.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been through worse.
It's different for everybody all the time, you know, like I always warn people when I wasn't here the week you do, but I usually do like a presentation. I talk to the patients, tell them about my experience, all the I mean, treat over 4,000 people now.
That's crazy.
And, you know, there's people called super responders, right? That just get better. You know, Roland's probably a little bit of a super responder.
I hear
Roland
week 5
Sands
or something. Is a super responder.
Calls me up. He's like, I don't have any pain. This is amazing. I'm like, yeah, but calm down, dude. Doesn't mean you're done. You know, like relax.
Yeah.
And But, you know, like a lot of the high level athlete guys that come down here, they're just used to breaking their bodies down and building them back up. And you know, they'll be in the WhatsApp group with people, or people will see them talking, and they'll be like, well, you know, this guy said in 4 weeks he had no pain, you know, blah, blah, blah. I still hurt, you know. And I'm just like, hey, it's normal. Calm down. You're not him. He's 25 years old. How old are you? You know, like how long ago was your injury? You know, like, hey, you know, not for nothing, but you got like 25 pounds you could lose. That guy does 10% body fat, you know, like, so.
Yeah, no, I get that from the aftercare group chat.
Oh, yeah.
I had that in ours as well. There were a couple people that super responders. Right. I feel great. I have no pain. And then a couple other people that were just like freaking out because they were in pain. I just kind of sat back and read it all and with a grain of salt. But then, Andy and I were conversing about the group chats at one point, and he, you know, told me a few things like, well, look at like this guy at one point was feeling like this, and then this guy was feeling like this. Like the scale is huge, and you have to understand that you can be over here, you can be over here, or you can be anywhere in between. And everybody's experience is different. Everyone's injuries are different. Every reason why someone is here is different. So the response, the pain, the healing, it all comes at a different time for every single person, and it can be 2 weeks or it can be 9 months. Yeah. But you have to understand that it is
not normally 9 months. I can't really think of anybody that's been 9 months, but it could happen.
Okay, what's the longest then?
It just that depends upon the injury, you know, and it also depends upon what you consider success, right? Like, you know, let's say nothing else got any better on you today. Would you say it was successful? Sounds like it. Yeah. Right. So, and sometimes, you know, with all the data that we're collecting, you know, sometimes people come down, I have no pain whatsoever, blah, 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 especially like in discs sometimes, right? And then you do an MRI, and the MRI doesn't show any change.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes they're like, I don't care, I'm out of pain. But sometimes people are like, oh, but the MRI doesn't show anything. I'm like, yesterday you told me you had zero pain. You could get your whole life back. Like, you know, what do you care what the MRI shows? And then sometimes people will still have some pain and some problems. Right. And the MRI will show tons of results. Now, I will say, a lot of the times when I dig in with those people, they didn't follow the aftercare procedure. Like they didn't do physical therapy, you know, especially like backs and shoulders. It's so important. Like you don't loosen your back up, strengthen your back up. You don't get an impingement out of your shoulder, realign your shoulder. Right. The pain may never go away. Yeah. Even if everything grows back and it looks like it was the day you were born. Right. And you got this impingement or something like that going. Yeah. You know, or you haven't loosened up your low back and strengthened it up. You got to do some work. Yeah. You know, it's like don't think you're going to get shoulder surgery or back surgery and not do physical therapy and be great.
You're just going to be fine.
You know, no way.
No, it's definitely putting in the work, and it's a case by case situation. Yeah. Stem cells.
What's the cool thing about the data? You know, we will have some, data that we can kind of say, hey, like this is what we've seen.
Yeah. Well, being able to give people a ballpark is always great. Yeah. But each person.
Hey, my back surgery, they said 3 months you'll be fine. It took me 8 months to walk.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Same thing.
That's how far off you were. Right. You know?
You're like, he wasn't even close.
And now you want to fuse it? Oh, yeah, I trust you. Good thing I didn't.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd have my first vertebrae, 2 vertebrae be fused to my pelvis.
No.
No way.
No, fusion.
Sounds bad for the sex life at a minimum.
I don't like that.
Thanks so much for coming in. It was really good to have. It was great to meet you guys. All you. Anybody that's around the night, send them my way, please. Because I'm such a super fan.
Careful what you wish for, because I'm pretty sure every single Nitro Circus person wants to come here. That would be like awesome for me. You know, Nitro people, if you're out there, hit me up. You get Andy, one of these rooftop will get you in touch with me. Absolutely.
You guys deserve to heal. All the years of inspiration, mad fear, just entertainment that, Nitro Circus has been, forever,
Well, we're going. X Games is at the end of this month in
no way.
Salt Lake City, and so
maybe I'll fly
I've
up
been
there.
invited back as an alumni of X
Yeah.
Games, and
Don't say the last weekend.
a lot of great athletes are going to be there because they're doing this alumni program. So there's
Yeah.
all the current amazing X Games athletes that will be competing.
Okay, well, give them all my number.
But there's going to be a huge amount of alumni X Games athletes from the 90s, 2000s, and stuff like that. So
Awesome.
it's too bad you can't come because I could just I could walk around and introduce you to every single Nitro Circus
What
person.
days is it? What days? Is it?
The 6th, 7th, and 8th, I think.
I might be able to make it for like the Saturday.
28th,
or the
29th.
Sunday. Is it at Saturday and
Saturday,
Sunday?
Sunday.
Okay, yeah, maybe I can make it for Sunday. That's one of the weeks that all of our team gets together. Everybody that works remotely on the page now, we get together in Nashville, and we're opening our cellular manufacturing in Nashville.
Oh, cool.
Get pushing towards doing stuff in the U.S., but also our custom peptide program. I was telling you a little bit about being able to customize peptides by the DNA.
Okay.
So it's just a lot to do there.
Peptides is another thing I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, well, we're about to blow it away.
Wow.
We got the best peptide PhD scientist, Dr. Ali, working with us, and he's going to be able to. We're going to be able to do you're going to be able to do the genetic test, right?
Yes.
Get all of that.
Yep.
And then not only know about the medications, the supplements, the nutrients, but which peptides are best for you. Yeah.
Love it all. I'm so excited about all this health. Become a health nut. I used to just
health as well.
I used to just break myself. Now I'm spending so much time and energy putting myself all back together. I'm older than you, so I lived through it all. Like Bones Brigade to Crusty Demons of Dirt to Nitro. The whole can't kill yourself, guys. All the way along that way. So it's been awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
It was awesome. Let's go put some stem cells in you.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool.